Hello, everyone. Hi, Tory. Thanks for coming on today.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so today's topic is near and dear to my heart, I guess I should say, not because I've had a lot of experience with it personally, but because it comes up on pretty much every conversation I have with a buyer, well, in the last couple of years. It's home warranties. And the reason why I want to talk about it on an episode here is as a base for people who are wondering about them, have heard about them, don't really understand them, so that we can guide them through kind of what they are, how they work, pros and cons, things like that. And the reason why I had you come on, my friend, is because I found out when you're doing an inspection for one of my clients, I don't know, maybe 6, 8 months ago, that you actually have a home warranty part of your business. Um, and you had some very poignant things to say about home warranties. And so while a lot of inspectors do know about them, I think you're in a very special position to talk about them. So thank you for coming on today and being our point of contact and reference for this.
No problem. Glad to be here and
Yeah,
share my knowledge. Yeah.
awesome. So let's just really quickly talk about how home inspections come up so quickly, and that can kind of be on my end. So really quickly going over the process of buying a home. You get pre-approved, you find the house you want, you put in the offer, and when you're putting the offer together, you decide if you want to ask for a home inspection, and that's the bread and butter of what you do. You do home inspections, and a lot of people get them done. A lot of people, some people will waive them. But what's really happened in the last year or so is people have, to be competitive, have stopped asking for home repairs when they find things up, come up on a home inspection. So that's when a home warranty will come up, and you'll have someone say, "Well, maybe I should get a warranty." Maybe the agent says that, maybe the client says that, and it's not necessarily a hard yes or a hard no, but it's at that point that I realize most people don't really understand how they work. And you're just like, hey, if you go in with your eyes open and you know how they work, then this can be a great thing for you. But you can't go in blind, assuming it's just going to always be there for you or help you in the way that you think. So, can we start by maybe you telling us, like, what is a home warranty?
So a home warranty, most people look at it as insurance. It's not insurance. It's a service plan. So if something in your home breaks down, you call this warranty company, whomever it may be, and they'll send a service provider out to take a look at it for you. And depending on your contract with the warranty company, they may or may not cover it. So a lot of people make mistakes are not reading the coverage of their warranty plan. So the first thing I will always do in selecting any warranty company is look at what they do cover, and actually call someone and talk it through with them, because you got to understand the contract, and they are a stickler with the contract. So first thing first, get a warranty if you decide to, if not, but do your homework on it first before you purchase it and before you agree to doing that.
Right. And so the thing is with the warranty, so I mean, home insurance, I mean, I don't want to get into a conversation about insurances, but insurances are usually like catastrophic, is what I tell people. You have
Yeah.
insurance for catastrophic issues. A tree falls in your house. We won't talk about floods because that's a little bit different. Your house gets struck by
Yeah.
lightning, like
Mm-hmm.
things where you're big deals. That's why you have
Right.
insurance. And I
Right.
will just quickly note, insurance is required if you're getting a loan. So you really don't have an option to have home
Right.
insurance or not. Warranties are optional, 100%. And those are more like for reparative covered items. I think that's what they refer to them as, covered items. And you were talking about
Covered
checking, yeah, checking the contract to see, well, what are those covered items?
items. Covered items.
Um,
Exactly.
right. So, you might think of more like appliances, and sometimes it can also talk about your electrical or your plumbing or, your heating and air conditioning systems. That's a huge one that ends up coming up a lot with warranties, which we can get into if we really want. But yeah, so that's kind of the difference in my eyes, is like catastrophic versus, you might feel like your air conditioning breaking down is catastrophic, but it's not the same as like the wall of your house getting ripped off, right? Like it's a little bit different. um yeah, so how do they work? Like, can you explain the process? Let's say, hey, my client Bob got a home warranty. He read the policy, thinks he pretty much gets it. Um, and his something breaks down. Let's just say his dishwasher breaks. How does it work?
So first thing you want to check is what is the time limit when the warranty starts. So say normally you buy a home, you go to closing and they pay for the warranty at closing for you. Most warranty companies, and this is what I was saying about reading the fine print, they don't allow a service call or a service call for 30 days. So say something, you bought a house and your dishwasher breaks down a week when you move in and you call your warranty company. Most of them will not come out within the first 30 days. So you place a service call. Some companies will send someone out. Some will already look at your policy. Hey, we see you just bought a home 2 weeks ago. You have to wait 30 days before you can place a claim. And that's probably 90% of warranty companies have that in a policy that you have a 30-day wait. Some have 45 days. So
I
once
have
you
a
make
feeling
that
I'm
call,
going to learn. I'm going to learn a lot on this call because I've never actually had a warranty. And
yeah,
to be honest, like I don't want anybody who's listening to think that we're saying yes, get a home warranty or don't, because really
correct.
that's not our decision to make.
No,
And I have some clients who have had really great experiences with home warranty
yeah,
companies, and I've had some who have had really, really terrible experiences with home warranty companies. So it's kind of like when you read reviews about things and you're almost always going to see people say bad and good things. You kind of have to read why they're saying that. Is it because the person who got the policy didn't read it and didn't really understand what they were getting? Or is it
yeah.
because they did read it and still didn't get what they thought that they were going to be getting from that policy? It's a little bit different about, when you read how people feel about these things.
And we'll go over that. And it's a big reason why you have the good and bad reviews on those things. If you want to talk about it now, or we can bring it up later. But
Sure.
it's a purpose. Why? Because every home warranty company, all they do is they find local providers in your area. So in our area, you're living in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and they'll find all local providers. But when they find those local providers, that's why you have good experience and bad experiences, because it's based on that company that comes out. So if they're a great reputable company and they do great service, you'll get the good side of it. But if you get a guy that's not a great service provider and he comes out to your home and you can't get in contact with him, or he calls and he comes out one day, collects his fee, and you never hear back from him, you're not looking at the provider, you're looking at the home warranty company. So they're going to take the blame from a bad service provider. So that's
Right.
normally the big hiccup with home warranty companies, the service providers that they provide to you.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, in that situation we're talking about, I think it makes sense that the person who's upset goes back to the home warranty company because it's the provider
Mhm.
they've chosen to work for them, right? So it is ultimately their responsibility. Um, so it's not that that's unwarranted. It's just when you start to have lots of, you know, people under other people, and you just go to the top and you say this warranty company sucks, but maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Which is
Um,
justifiable.
sure. Yeah.
It's justifiable because this is who I paid. I paid you to provide me service. You said they would come out. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's the warranty company's problem. But I just want to kind of give the insight of why you get so many mixed reviews. You get some people who are just adamant, like, I hate warranties. And you get some people who say, I love my home warranty company. And it's just, again, it all boils down to the service provider, because when you sign that contract, they make every service provider sign that. They have to give their insurance like anything else and their history. So it's pretty much to the warranty company to decide who they want to use as their providers. So that's
I,
what it all comes down to.
I have a question. So, if you were to work with a warranty company, and can you
Mhm.
request a specific service provider to come out? Like, say my kitchen refrigerator breaks, and I had to happen to work with Bob before. Can I say, hey, send Bob out?
Yeah, now that's when you have to have, and that's again back to reading the contract. Some warranty companies will allow you to get outside contractors and or providers, service providers, and then they'll just reimburse you the percentage that your policy holds. So say your dishwasher breaks down and you know a guy that can service the dishwasher, can come out tomorrow. You're like, hey, Thanksgiving's coming. I need my dishwasher working tomorrow. Service
Right.
provider wants to come and say, hey, we can't get no one out for 2 weeks. You like, heck with that. I need something now. So some people go out and purchase their own, or sometimes they'll give you a credit. So some warranty companies will give you cash credit to say, hey, we can't provide a provider out there in the timeline, but if you want to go out and buy one, we have a $300 credit towards you purchasing a new one based on your policy. So that's again having a conversation with someone when you purchasing a home one, not just reading it, actually talking it through one of the people that work for the company. Say, hey, if this happens, what happens next? So
Yeah.
I know, we like to do that a lot, but that's the insight. Had a conversation. Know, do I have cash value? Know what is the replacement? How much is my replacement cost? And once you understand that, you will know exactly what to do. Dishwasher breaks down. Okay, I'm placing the call. I need you guys to send someone out. If they can't send them out in a timely fashion, yes, I can go out and buy it myself and just get reimbursed back, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Okay. So we're kind of getting into costs. So maybe we should just talk about it now. So costs as far as, because I'm sure people who are listening are wondering, what does a home warranty cost, generally speaking? I mean, there's a range. So let's give people a range.
So around now, I would say the range is between $500 to up to $1,200 per year that you would get for a base policy. Is normally you make $485, $500 for a base policy, and that just covers that may cover your furnace, water heater, your base mechanicals, like an outlet, a receptacle, drain on leak or a plumbing leak, but doesn't go into the septic system, doesn't go extensive like the more expensive policies do. So if you want like a base policy that just kind of covers all your major appliances up to a certain percentage and up to a certain amount of years. So, and then you go, and then it scales up. So a lot of warranty companies do a la carte services as well. So you may say, oh, all I want to get is my furnace covered. And they got a cost for that too. So, and what has happened now, a lot of warranty companies are starting to adapt to the new age and new market, saying, okay, we're just not having one baseline coverage. So that's why the range is like 500 to 1,200. You have people who they'll cut your grass for you. I mean, warranty companies are getting very creative. They give what's called service providers. So even if it's not covered under your warranty, they'll have a list of providers that they can give to you if you need other services, renovations and all types of stuff. So the warranty company is very competitive, and they're all buying for your business. But I would range it between $500 to $1,200 a year for the home warranty.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty. I mean, and we're talking about this area, right? Because this podcast is about DC, yes, Maryland, and Virginia. So they could, I'm sure, vary in any other parts of the country, but this is in this area here. So that's what I'm seeing, and they're more expensive. Some will cover pools.
Yes.
Many of us don't have pools, but a pool service on top can be an additional $100 to $200. And when you said a la carte, sometimes you have a base, say $600 policy, and then you add on each thing on top of that. And that's right, how you get to those higher prices. And then there's service calls.
Yes.
So I'm not sure, I don't know if all of the places I've worked with before have service calls, but I know most do.
Yeah, the reason why the service call is because the home warranty company doesn't get the service call. So it's pretty much what they negotiated with the providers. If they negotiated a number with the providers and say, hey, we're going to charge $60, we're going to charge $75, we're going to charge $99. That's when you come out, when that service guy comes out, you're paying him directly. The warranty company doesn't get that money. So it's pretty much whatever that service provider cost is, and that they have negotiated with the warranty company. Say, hey, every call that I come out for you guys, I want to get a minimum of $99 or $100. And the warranty company say, okay, no problem. We'll let the customer know that they have to pay you directly. So that's where the service call comes from. It doesn't go to the warranty company. It goes directly to the provider. That's just for him coming out.
There's another thing I didn't know. Okay, well, that's good. Okay, so then when we start talking about the value and if it makes sense to people, I think it's good for them when they're figuring this out is how much does it cost to completely replace some of these systems?
Yeah, it's about $6,000 to $12,000, depending on what type of system you have. If it's a high efficiency system, if it's a base system, if it's electric. So electric is more cheaper, gas is more expensive.
Right.
So
right.
That's the cost on that. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was going to say that ends up being the most expensive system in a house, almost always.
Always.
Yeah. And so that's the one that's why it comes up all the time in conversation, is because if it were to break down, if it were to completely crap out, then that is the biggest out-of-pocket cost theoretically you might have to pay.
Right.
So this comes up a lot in my conversations with clients when it's an older system. It seems to be working now. It's at the end of the age of life, and someone's saying, well, what do I do?
What do I do?
And I know, Yeah, that is the number one question I'm sure you get with HVACs.
Number one issue that even when we do our inspections, and it comes up every time. It's almost like deal killers to a certain extent at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the thing with the HVAC system, with the older system, is what has changed is that it operates what's called R22. It's a refrigerant that is no longer allowed to be used. Mm-hmm. So EPA and the government phased it out in 2020, where they say, okay, that was the last year that you guys can use this refrigerant. So a lot of home warranties know that. So that's why the cost of a lot of the home warranties have gone up, because they have to compensate for those R22 systems. Right. So R22 is an ozone depleter. So they're like, okay, we got to get rid of it. So, but the problem with what comes up with a lot of the home warranty companies is that they not only do they have to replace the outside unit, they have to replace the inside unit as well. So their costs have increased, and which is going to make your cost increase. So the first thing you want to do, say you got a system that's 10 years old, and your home inspector say, hey, man, I can't tell you how much, it's near its life expectancy. I don't know how much life is left, although functional at the time of inspection. And you like, okay, what do I do with that? And you say, well, you might want to get a home warranty. Your agent say, hey, you might want to get a home warranty. They'll cover it. And that's not necessarily true. They'll cover to a certain percentage. So that's why you have to have that conversation with the home warranty company. You got to look in and say, because some companies may charge additional $200. They call it it's the R22 coverage plan they have. They got different names of it. It's a Freon coverage plan. So they got different names for it. And you have to let them know, say, hey, you have to have that conversation or read your contract, because they're just starting to add this into the contracts probably in the last 5 years. So you have to say, okay, am I covered? And how much am I covered? And does that make sense for me to purchase this warranty that may be $600, $700, or $1,000, but my system may cost me $6,000 to $12,000? And the warranty company say, hey, because it's 10 years old and we know it's nearing its life expectancy, we're only going to give you a third of the cost that it would take to replace this, not including the labor. So you got to.
I have done a tremendous amount of research into this. I had a bunch of clients who this exact conversation happened with in a span of 3 months. So I was calling these companies, these warranty companies myself, and asking the specifics. And I'm just going to be completely transparent and saying that it gets very confusing because, and it's one of the things where you don't want to assume they're making it confusing on purpose, but sometimes it starts to feel that way because it's complicated. And, they'll cover it if it was in good condition before you got the policy. And a home inspector is not an HVAC inspector. So they'll say, well, it's working well according to what we can see. But, a warranty company could come in and say, oh, looks like there's a leak. There's been a leak. And, might not have been something that you can pick up on an inspection because it's a small leak or something like that. So this is where I think really specifically with this part of a warranty, you should be calling in and asking your agent or your home inspector what questions to ask so that you know what to ask. And then you take notes on what they say and you look at the policy and you make sure you totally understand when you will or will not be covered. And ultimately, I have to tell you what I tell almost all my clients is cross your fingers and hope they cover it and start saving for a new system and putting your money away. Because if they don't, obviously you're going to have to replace it. And it's kind of like you hope it covers it, but you need to look at it with a little bit of skepticism.
Yes, good point. But I'm going to give you a point that everyone should do, every agent, home buyer that buys a home warranty. The way the home warranty gets out of it, and it's funny that you say that because this is what happens a lot to people when they say, well, I call my home warranty company. They send someone out and they tell me they're not going to cover it. So the reason why on every HVAC system is a data plate on it. And it states, the manufacturer states that this system has to be serviced a certain amount of times a year, normally twice a year. Mm-hmm. The furnace normally has to be serviced once a year, and the AC has to be serviced once a year. So that's how a lot of home warranty companies get out of paying for your system. They're going to say, oh, it's delayed maintenance. This unit hasn't been serviced. So what I would recommend and what we recommend, and at times I always say, hey, get an HVAC guy. Even though this system is 10 years old or 12 years old, and it is functional at the time of inspection, have a licensed HVAC guy come out, service, and place this unit in the best possible working condition. Mm-hmm. And you want a budget for a replacement. And the reason I say that is that because it's getting older, purchase the home warranty. But the home warranty company, they will give you a scenario such as this, if we don't mind. So you make a call to the home warranty company. Yeah, I just bought this home. 3 weeks later, my HVAC system went fail. They're going to say, okay, did you have a home inspector? Yes, I did. Let us see the inspection report. Some warranty companies ask for it, some don't. Yes, okay, we see item 7.8 stated that the system had delayed maintenance and hasn't been serviced. Have you had it serviced? No, it's working. Okay, ma'am. Okay, sir. We void your warranty because you didn't get it serviced. So that's why they ask for that home inspection report. So I would suggest anyone who buys a home warranty, or no matter what, get your unit serviced, spend $100 to $200 to get it just serviced. So you'll have a documentation, an invoice from a licensed heating and cooling company saying, yeah, I had it inspected. Yes, here go my invoice showing after I bought this home, I had my unit serviced. And that's how you can keep your home warranty, and that's how they can't void you if you get that service call right away. As soon as you close, go get it serviced. Even no matter what he says, if he put it in working condition, that means it was in the best possible working condition by a licensed heating and cooling contractor. Per the data plate, your warranty will be covered, unless they really are just crazy. But they have to cover it if you have those two things.
Yeah. That's probably the best advice you can give somebody, and especially in terms of that system, because I mean, again, it's the biggest cost one, but let's not harp on this too much. So let's go on. So the next most expensive is probably going to be a furnace. And that can range anywhere from around $4,000 to $10,000, I'd say $1,000. Right. And then a water heater, not quite so much, but still, $800, $1,600. Yeah. I'd say is an average. And then appliance repair. So we're talking about repair, not replacement. Appliance repair, to have somebody come out, is basically a service call plus parts. And I will very quickly say, parts wise, we all know that parts and things like that are on back order, and I mean, appliances in general are in back order. So any of this is a pain to deal with for all of us. But appliance repair is going to range anywhere from, I'd say, $100 to $300 for repair. And at that point, I personally, if we get to a point where our repair is so highly so high, sometimes I just recommend replacing it, that's what I've done myself. But again, I haven't, luckily, knock on wood, had to deal with thinking about the timeline of things right now with everything on back order. So maybe that's part of the calculation when you're deciding to replace or to fix. But anyway, it's not nothing. It's still a couple $100.
Right.
And so if you don't have the money to set aside for these things, a home warranty can more than pay for itself as long as these things are being covered. It's almost like a payment plan in a way, in that you've paid for this warranty. You'll pay service calls. You may, you hopefully have an understanding of what it won't cover. So up to what amount you may have to, pay for a certain service. But it can be very helpful, obviously, if they are covering your HVAC versus you having to spend $13,000 on your own. It can be great. But this is getting us really quickly into when to consider a home warranty versus when not to consider a home warranty.
That's a good thing. Like if you're buying a new home, don't buy a home warranty. Your new home is covered for up to 10 years. So, and the most what's called any mechanical, electrical, and plumbing is covered. So like mechanicals, like the furnace, is normally manufacturer warranty, at least a year or two, sometimes 5. And then the house itself is covered normally for the first, like I said, 1 to 10 years. And it just goes down as the years go on. So I wouldn't get it if I had a new home. I wouldn't buy it. But say you had a home, you have appliances that range in between 8 to 10 years or 5 to 10 years old. You may want to consider the home warranty, because that's really the sweet spot, that 5 to 10 year mark. Because once it goes over 10 years, a lot of warranty companies kind of get out. They like, you know what? We know it's going to fail. It's reached its life expectancy, so we limit to how much we cover at that point. But if you bought a home and it's about 5 years old and it's not a new home, but they say the previous owner replaced it about 5 or 6 years ago, that's a good time to get a home warranty. And then again, go back to getting it serviced and then keep the home warranty to cover it. And that would definitely limit your costs if anything fails. And you're like, okay, I'm in a good spot here. If my furnace goes bad, I've had it serviced every year. I call a home warranty. I call a home warranty with confidence at that point, knowing, hey, I know this system is going to get covered, because it's not near its life expectancy, and I'm good. So I don't have much money. I bought this home warranty to make sure that I have some type of coverage, and that's the whole purpose of that home warranty, is to give you some type of assurance, to give you time to build up that nest egg for something major to happen. But I always suggest that you at least get the home warranty if you can for the first 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, and anecdotally, I'll also say that I had a client who the sellers had a warranty policy through a company, and the buyers got the same exact company, and the warranty companies agreed to like not merge the policies, but the systems ended up being say like 5 or 6 years when the sellers had gotten the policy.
Mm-hmm.
When my
Mm-hmm.
buyers got it, it was like 10 years. And
Yeah.
so now that's the place where the warranty companies kind of don't really, that's not their bread and butter. That's because
No.
they're gonna spend more money in those situations. The warranty
Yeah.
companies are, and obviously this goes without saying, like, these are businesses. They are trying to make
Yes.
money. And
Yes.
so they're not in the business of just like, you get an air conditioning and you get an air conditioner and like
No.
they're not
No.
tossing it out there. um and so anyway, in this particular situation, my clients got the same policy that the sellers had, which had been covering things. And so the warranty company, I think, one, knew things had been serviced, knew the history, knew that they had been providing the service before for those systems. And it actually worked out pretty well for my clients. I mean, knock on wood, they haven't had a ton of issues, but getting that policy and getting everything set up and understanding, what kind of services they were going to get, it was pretty easy for them to navigate. So
yeah, that's a good point you brought up that we didn't bring up. I just want to bring up real quick. Is that ask the warranty company, do they have a preventive maintenance service plan? Because a lot of companies are starting to do that now. They have preventive maintenance service plans along with the home warranty. Costs a little more, but now they're sending their people out, making sure the system is operating correctly. And this what's happening is just help lowering their costs. So definitely find out, do they have a preventive maintenance service plan with their warranty as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is not what we're talking about today, but I always make sure that my clients know about regular maintenance that they should be doing on their home, because it always bites you in the ass if you don't do these things, right? Like clean your gutters out, like, get your HVAC service. I say twice a year instead of once, but some people will say once. Do these things that, one, just keep you in the know of what's going on, but two, will save you in situations like we're talking about. Because if you're not getting these things serviced, if it's due to negligence, that ends up being something that comes up with these policies a lot too. If it's negligence.
So my point is that the warranty companies now have a maintenance plan, a part of the warranty.
Right.
And you can
do it.
I would definitely suggest that you purchase that if you can. That way they can't avoid your warranty because they're the guys that are servicing the system.
Exactly.
So it definitely helps out a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's smart. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, the pros and the cons, I feel like we've really gone through them as we've gone through today. But I mean, really quick to summarize, I'd say, the pros are, if you totally understand this program that you're going with, if you totally understand the warranty, it can be there for you. It can save you in situations that can be very costly. And in the situation of often a new buyer, or a first-time buyer, you've put a lot of your resources or your money into this purchase. And I would never suggest you put all of your money into your new home, because emergencies happen and you should always have money you can draw on for an emergency. But, you still are probably drained a little bit more, perhaps, than you were pre-buying this home. So this can help you in those situations. The cons are, if you just randomly pick a warranty company, if you don't know what you're getting into, if you assume that it's going to help you, I'd say, that's not a safe assumption. So you can really get bit hard if you don't really truly know what you're walking into. Anything else that you want to add for the pros and cons?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything on that. Just read your policy, understand what you're getting yourself, like you just said. I agree with totally what you just said. Read your policy, understand what you're getting yourself into, and good luck with everything.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, my suggestion always is talk to a home inspector who knows some of these costs and knows about servicing and things like that. Obviously, talk to your real estate agent. He or she should really have, if he or she doesn't know the answers to these questions, should be willing to help you find the answers out. And so that you're kind of going in eyes open, and so that when you have this policy or don't, you feel confident with the decision you made to get it or not. Anyway, so Tory, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate your experience, and we'll send people your way if they have any questions. And I mean, you have your own warranty company, so who knows? Maybe people will want to talk to you about yours.
We're here for you if you need us.